The past few days we've been speaking about the halachot of foods during a meal. The halacha is, the Gemara tells us in Masechet Berachot, that a person who's having a bread meal does not need to make brachot on foods that are eaten either with the bread or even not with the bread, but during the meal. The Ritba writes that even foods that are eaten during the meal don't require bracha, not because of Eikar v'Tafel, primary and secondary brachot, because that only is with regards to foods that are eaten together. Then we say Eikar v'Tafel. But not all of the foods during the meal are eaten together with bread. Obviously, he says it's a separate halacha that has to do with that bread is kovea de seudah. Once you made a bracha on the bread, you don't need to make a bracha on anything else. Now, because of that, the halacha is, when do we say this din? That's only when you're having a meal. A meal can only be when you're having a kazait or more of bread. Kazait is about 27 grams or so. When you're having, it's about a quarter of a pita. If a person has a kazait of bread and more, then that requires birkat hamazon, at least midrabanan. Kabetza already becomes midoraita. So now, since he's mechuyav birkat hamazon and that's a meal, it's going to exempt all of the other foods during the meal. However, what happens if a person eats bread but less than a kazait? The halacha is, eating less than a kazait of bread, although he made birkat hamotzi, is not going to exempt any of the other foods from their brachot. He's still going to have to make a bracha on all the other foods, because that's not considered a meal. Less than kazait, no birkat hamazon, not a meal, the other foods need a bracha. Unless, obviously, with that let's say you're taking a very small piece of bread, and you're putting hummus on it, or you're taking a little salad, and you're putting it on the bread, then be'emet, it goes back to ikar v'tafel, and you don't have to make a bracha. But, if you're not eating it together with the bread, let's say you're having a tiny piece of bread, you made a motzi, then you want to have meat, or fish, rice, whatever, you would need to make an individual bracha on both brachot rishonot and acharonot on all of the foods that you have during that meal, quote unquote, because you ate less than a kazait of bread. Have a wonderful day.